It's time.
Rest clinches a spot in the Rip Curl WSL Finals.
Surfing's biggest day is set.
Add him to your list. He's in the Final Five.
The Final Five, men and women, have a chance to cement their own legacy.
Never expected to be here in this situation, so we'll give it a red-hot crack.
They alone control their fate.
Yeah, I'm ready for the finals. See you soon, Trestles.
Throws plenty of spray. She hangs on to that one.
Just gets spit out.
10 unique journeys have led to this moment.
Radical call here, a complete incomplete.
The biggest upset of the contest so far.
The inspiration has been found.
Morgan Siblic's head-to-head record with John Florence is going to be 2-zip.
Sally Fitzgibbons tucking in. Wow.
The preparation has been done.
I hope I can make things shake a little bit.
It's time to leave it all in the water.
It's one of the best single manoeuvres we've seen in women's competition.
It's time for one to rise.
Get to duke it out and have a shot at a world title, so fired up.
Will you choke? Will you make it work? Will you win?
It's time for the Rip Curl WSL Finals.
Welcome, surf fans, to the Rip Curl WSL Finals, Day 2 of our waiting period. And this is Dawn Patrol. Chris Cote here with Rosie Hodge and Mitch Salazar. The excitement levels have been building. The practice sessions have been going off. Every day as we inch closer to our final day, you can just feel it. It's a palpable feeling of excitement and anticipation. And of course, as you look at this glorious morning we have behind us, Lower Trestles is the place to be. This is going to be an incredible event, and we're just waiting for this thing to fire up. And so far, it has been an absolute show out in the lineup.
That's right. The 10 contenders, they've been putting on a show for us in the free surfs. I feel like everyone's kind of holding their cards pretty close to their chest, though.
Yeah, 5 will enter, only 1 will rise. So that's who's it going to be on each side?
Well, let's get right into it. We've got some business to take care of, and that is the business of crowning a champion. Here is your women's bracket, an absolute minefield of talent.
Well, there it is. I mean, the best woman making it into this top 5. It's great to see, a couple new faces going for that world title. Tatiana Weston-Webb, Joanne DeFay. The rest of those ladies, Carissa with 4, Steph with 7, Sally's had a couple bites at the apple, but it's cool to see the mix of talent we have.
Love it, and I love to see that on the men's bracket as well. Of course, you've got the big 3, but you've also got 2 dark horse contenders in match 1, Mitch.
Yeah, same thing as Rosie said. You got the 3-headed monster right there at the end, and then you got a couple of newbies in match number 1. And it could be the first time we see a Californian world champion in over 30 years if Connor Coffin can end up doing it here.
I love to see it. And again, just looking at those brackets gets us fired up. Well, speaking of getting fired up, we've seen some good waves behind us, but of course, a lot of swell on the way. This call, not easy on any day. So let's leave it to the experts. Pete Bell with Jesse Miley-Dyer.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And exactly that. It is a difficult call because every morning we show up here, it looks really fun. You've got a 10-day waiting period for a 1-day event. How difficult is it to make a call?
Oh, it's definitely difficult here at Lowers because it always looks good, but it's actually kind of cool. I'm excited to instead of looking at 4 or 5 days, we're looking for that 1 day, and it's a cool way to look at an event.
So with that, are we going to be running competition today?
We're not going to be running today. There are for sure a couple of fun waves out there, but it's still pretty small, and what we're looking at in the forecast is that there's swell coming, so we're going to wait for it.
And we're looking at that, what kind of time period are we looking at?
Towards Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all of those 3, I think they're definitely, what we're looking at right now, and that's what's in play.
Well, we're going to have to wait for today, but swell on the way.
Oh, that gets, that again, adds to the anticipation and excitement. The good news is the Surfline forecast looks incredible. Rosie, you surf here pretty much every day. You know a lot about the forecasting that goes into this break. So the Surfline forecast has a great set of days and news for us.
That's right. I mean, September time here in Southern California, especially for Lower Trestles, sucking in all that southerly swell. We've got a very active South Pacific at the moment, which is awesome. Like Jesse says, there's a few days to pick from for a one-day event, which is a great problem to have.
Yeah, and it's been a few fun days to warm things up, but I feel like we're just getting to the icing on the cake for Saturday, maybe Sunday, and I think Monday is looking like a great day. But as you see right here, 7 a.m. just right now, 3 to 5 feet. Period's a little slow. I like the longer period swells here at Lower Trestles. It's going to clean things up over this weekend.
Well, this is a good, fun-looking day at Lowers, but we are waiting for greatness. And we're seeing greatness down the line Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 to 10 feet over this 3-day stretch. And you can bet that our surfers are ready, and our locals that have been surfing out here have been enjoying sessions with some of the world's best. So again, our free surf sessions, if they're any indication of what we will see in the upcoming Rip Curl WSL Finals, get ready for it. You are in for an incredible show. And speaking of incredible show, we've got more Dawn Patrol for you coming up right after this break. We'll be back with more. We're live from Lower Trestles. This is the Rip Curl WSL Finals.
I think the biggest thing that I have learned going into these world title days is just you have to find some peace with it, and you have to try to keep it simple and not overcomplicate things. That world title will come if you do what's right in front of you. So I'm trying to not make it complicated at the moment.
I felt like I was in a comfort zone, and I wanted to change a little bit, and yeah, I just feel good the way I'm now, you know. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm doing what I love, and it's good when you change for better, you know. And yeah, I want to become a real man, you know. Like, it's the process. So yeah, I'm on the way.
Wise words from our #1 seeds, both looking calm, cool, and collected, but also like cobras, ready to strike. And when they're as relaxed as they look in that footage right there, watch out. Big things will follow for Gabriel Medina and Carissa Moore. Let's start with Gabriel Medina. You think of his career, you think of what he's done at venues all over the world, pretty much dominant surfer anywhere he surfs, but Lower Trestles has a way of leveling the playing field. This is not Gabriel Medina's event to win, because we know that this wave, well, it's got a mind of its own. It is absolutely equal across both fields.
Yeah, when we look at recent history from Gabriel Medina, you know, his results here at Lowers haven't been great. He's had moments of brilliance. This is an excerpt from 2014, a 9.63. So 2014, it's 7 years ago. He hasn't won an event here, but he is definitely my pick for a world title. I have a feeling he's done well at events this season where he wasn't our pick. Australia, he went mad. And usually in the beginning season, he doesn't do that well. So I'm still favoring Gabriel Medina.
Yeah, and it's hard to disagree with you, honestly, with the track record he's at this year. But in the past year at Lower Trestles, averaged 10th place, Rosie. And over the last 2 years where we ran the event, a couple of equal 13s, he has been a champion at the prime level here in 2012. But I just feel like with this format, if he ends up losing one heat, there's a good chance he ends up taking the last two. But I feel for him to be a world champion at the end of the day, he has to win the first one.
And in looking at those stats, I kind of look at that screen. It's very interesting, but then I see that final number, 2017. You think of how much better Gabriel Medina has gotten since 2017 to now, and you can take those stats, crumple them up, throw them in the nearest trash can or recycle bin. Carissa Moore, a little bit different of a story here. She has been dominating Lower Trestles since she was a child. I mean, this has been her playground. Coming from Hawaii, you have to get through the gauntlet of lowers in every amateur event, every pro event. So Carissa Moore, now the different story there is she is absolutely tailor-made to win on this wave.
Yeah, and I think that's huge expectations. I mean, when you come in, you know you've had such big success at a location. You've had huge success throughout the season. I think for her, it's all about just taking a deep breath and really relying on the surfing that she's been doing all year.
Yeah, and I think the great thing for Riss this year in particular has been a great balance of results in different kind of waves. Great in beach breaks, great at point breaks, great in heavy waves too. And when we come down to Lower Trestles, it has a little bit of everything, especially if there's going to be size in the water later, Chris.
Well, Carissa Moore, of course, is our #1 seed, but a cool story on the women's tour is that we've had a different champ at every event. So there is no walkthrough for Carissa Moore. She knows how talented the Final 5 field is that she's going to be going up against. Her 2021 regular season was stellar, but she's got one more big ask here at Lower Trestles when we do get the Rip Curl WSL finals up and rolling. And we'll see if Carissa can build on the momentum from our last event in Mexico. So a big topic of conversation at our events is always the judging. What are the judges looking for? You know, what rules will come into play? The rule book is about this thick. Luckily, we've got an expert on hand to help us decode and decipher all the rules and, of course, what the judges are looking for. That will be coming up after the break. Before we get there, let's take a look at a recent documentary featuring our #1 seed, Carissa Moore. This is Riss.
Blow my mind, blow my mind, blow my mind, blow my... I found a potion for fixing passion. Go tell your homegirls, get their reaction. Out on the ocean, her satisfaction. Go tell your homegirls, what's their reaction?
Love is ultimately all of our biggest goals in life. It's to find love, to share that love with other people too.
This is an exploration into the fairy tale captured in 2019 during the world title race.
Welcome back to Dawn Patrol here on day 2 of the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Chris Cote here with Rosie Hodge and Mitch Salazar. You see the free surfing session lighting up behind us. No competition today, but tons of action in the lineup. The world's best have been out there practicing, training, along with hundreds of others of the best to the middle, to all types of surfers out here at Lower Trestles over the past few weeks. An incredibly fun show to watch, but we've got business to take care of. Lower Trestles has always been called the high performance hub of California, if not the world. This wave is an air surfer's paradise, but power surfers love this place as well because both the left and the right are beautiful canvases for hard carving rail turns. That brings us to the debate that the judges are going to be thinking about throughout this event. That's the air game versus the power game. We know our field has stacked on both sides of the coin. I would say equally matched up. All of our surfers can do airs. All of our surfers have a lot of power. Now it's going to be up to the judges to decide who's going to win between the power and the progression. This is a look back at what we've been seeing this year on the championship tour. Big airs have been soaring and scoring.
That's right. I mean, some powerful moments from the world's best. Italo, Gabriel, my favorite moment, of course, Carissa Moore in Newcastle. But yeah, there's just so much to take in when there's jaw-dropping moments like this.
Yeah, and this is a tough wave to really deliberate on whether or not you want to give a big score to just one aerial maneuver. There's so much length, and a lot of these airs that we've seen over the course of the 2021 regular season were at beach rigs. And I think at Lower Trestles, especially on the right, you got to be able to combo things up. Maybe on the left if you have the one big section to do it. But as you were saying, Chris, we've seen a big combination of power maneuvers into the aerials too. I think that's going to be a big factor here.
Yeah, this wave is a purist dream as well as a progressive surfer's dream. So our judges, who are the best in the world, definitely have their work cut out for them. But for us, luckily, we've got a defector coming from the other side. We're very excited to have Rich Porta, our expert when it comes to rules and judging. Rich, the conversation of power versus progression, I mean, this is a hot topic. I want to welcome you to Lower Trestles, welcome you to the team. We're so happy to have you.
Morning, Chris. Thanks very much. How are you?
Doing great. This is a conversation that everyone gets excited about because everybody wins. Power versus progression. I'm just going to throw it out there. In the eyes of the judges, let's say you have a surfer going right, 8 carves, super powerful, all the way to the beach. The other surfer goes left, 1 massive air with a rotation, a grab, upside down, one of those spectacular maneuvers. What are the judges going to do in that case, which we will see in this event?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, this place really makes the judges work, and they will have their work cut out for them, mark my words. Back in the day when the surfing was all very similar, it was apples versus apples, and it was you're just comparing. But now, with the different styles of surfing, and like you just alluded to, one surfer doing 6 or 7 turns and another surfer just going for a massive air. Like we just saw in the package, you know, Medina's 9.7 in Newcastle, Carissa's 9.9 in Newcastle, and as Mitch said, they're in beach breaks, so it's easier to punch in those single maneuvers. But here it's a long wave. Then, as we saw in Mexico, Carissa got a 9.8 for carving turns, and you know Connor Coffin's been out here all week lighting the place up. You've got to do the power surfing with speed, power, flow, control, all these elements that come into it. And power surfing, it will never go out of style because it's a purist way of surfing and we love it. And don't be surprised if you'll see some big scores from surfing that doesn't go to the air. So it's a really good question and it's a lot of work for the judges.
We can't wait to see and hear what the judges throw out for power surfing versus progression, and probably a mix of both. And Rich, we'll be checking in on you all event long to get your insights. Stoked to have you here.
Cheers, Chris.
So in that conversation, the judges, like we said, will have their work cut out for them. We've got the best in the business, and they're going to be on the top of their game as the best surfers hit the water very soon. The Rip Curl WSL Finals. We've got more Dawn Patrol for you coming right up after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Dawn Patrol here at the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Beautiful Lower Trestles here in San Clemente, California. Chris Cote here with Rosie Hodge and Mitch Salazar. Fantasy surfing has taken the world by storm on WorldSurfLeague.com. I know we all played all year long. Some of us did better than others. You guys are probably in the top 100. I'm down in the bottom 50,000 area for the world. But luckily on our crew, we've got some absolute experts. And how was fantasy for you guys so far this year?
I've got room for improvement.
Room for improvement?
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a person who's coming in to the Rip Curl WSL Finals as our #1 seed. Could be the undisputed champion of the fantasy world. He is standing by now with Shannon Hughes. Who you got, Shannon?
Kaipo Guerrera, you have walked away #1 ranking. It's an honor to be sitting next to you. Congratulations on a big finish to the year.
Thank you very much, Shannon. I'm excited. It was a great year. It was really fun to play fantasy surf.
Well, playing Fantasy Surfer, you were competing against over 100,000 other Fantasy Surfer teams. How on earth did you walk away with, that #1 ranking?
Well, one thing is paying attention to the seeding in Fantasy Surf. Number 2 is being nimble in Fantasy Surf and making those changes before the elimination round. So the combination of that and some gut led me to a victory, and I'm really ecstatic about the whole thing.
Well, some great strategy overall. Talk to us about the format changes now coming into the WSL Finals.
Well, in the Rip Curl WSL Finals Fantasy Surf, you actually have a simplified version, if you will, because the seeding is spelled out in front of you. The brackets are all spelled out, and so it's really simple to make your pick. How do you win points? You win points by picking each match winner, and you have until the matches start to make those picks. You earn points for winning each correct pick in those matches, and there's the bonus underdog 100 points if you pick a lower seed and that lower seed wins. So I encourage everyone to play Fantasy Surf. It's going to be a blast.
Well, so exciting. Kaipo, since you're the expert, I've got to now ask you, who are your picks going into the WSL Finals in match 1?
Match #1 for the women, I'm going to pick Steph Gilmore. And why? Because the power, the grace, the flow exhibited here at Lower Trestles from Stephanie Gilmore, I think it's undeniable. So Steph Gilmore is my pick for match #1. Match #1 for the men?
Yep.
Morgan Siblick. He's been earning me points all year long. I got to stay on the Siblick train. I can't abandon him now in the finals. I got to stay with my boy, and I'm going to take that bonus 100 underdog points for that pick.
I love it. Well, there we go. Words in. Steph Gilmore and Morgan Siblick from the expert.
Thank you, Shannon, and congrats to Kaipo. But much like Gabriel Medina and Carissa Moore, our #1 seed, Kaipo Guerrero, still has work to do. He does have to win to be the undisputed champion, although we do have a beautiful trophy for him. It's just not here today. So with that, let's make some picks ourselves. I'll just go ahead and go first. My picks for match #1, I'm going with Connor Coffin. I'm going to ride the Connor train all the way to a world title. So I'll be very excited to bring that championship trophy back to California with Connor Coffin. For the women, Stephanie Gilmore. I mean, Stephanie's going to be tough to beat in any match. Rosie, who you got?
You know what? I got to go with you on the Connor Coffin pick. I'd love to see him do well here. For the women, that first matchup is such a doozy. I'm actually going to go with underdog Joanne DeFay. I mean, on her backhand, are you kidding me? Her forehand so polished. So, yeah, little spanner in the works.
Mitch?
I got Sibilik and DeFay, and I'm just going to leave it like that because I think they're the 2 biggest underdogs in the event, and I think they can go all the way.
Well, you can change your picks as the event rolls on. I'm going to set it and forget it. I'm just going to leave it all on the table. Well, thank you for tuning in to Dawn Patrol. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place. You're watching the Rip Curl WSL Finals. We'll be back tomorrow morning.